What I'd like to explain is that you can't look at a major newspaper across the United States and not see an article that says, should big tech, social media be regulated as a utility? Even the BBC in London has got a story on this. Other countries like Poland are stepping up to the plate, threatening fines to social media because of their discrimination. The Public Service Commission started regulating railroad. After a time, they gave us the job of electricity. A little more time evolved, and this legislation said you've got to manage natural gas, taxi cab service, garbage. The Public Service Commission evolves, and the legislative body is who tells us what to do. I believe our next step to evolve is social media. When I think about it, we probably should have been doing this about 5 years ago because problems have been developing. More people use social media than natural gas and electric combined. Now, the legislature can simply just say, we task the Public Service Commission to regulate social media, and we can go from there. But here we have a bill. It's a 3-step process. When you go to court, a judge will usually say, have both parties sat down and tried to work this out before you came into my courtroom? A great question. Well, that's exactly what the concern was in the House. You're going to have too many complaints to handle. So we designed the bill to say, you have to try to work out the issue before it comes to the Public Service Commission in writing to try to prevent some of that. Also, we can charge up to $500, $250 for each party to file a complaint. That'll keep people from doing frivolous complaints. So we listened to what the House had to say, and that was one of the things we came up with. Step 2, if it's not worked out, it comes to the Public Service Commission. We render the decision quickly, and under due process, you can ask for a jury trial and go to district court. Now, one of the public service commissioners were concerned that big tech has so much money, they just keep it in court. So we put another safety in. I call it step 4. If you're going to take a 4th step, you're responsible for attorney fees for both sides and all court costs. We believe this will prevent big tech from just tying it up in court because they'd have to pay for everything. Now, if we're able to assess a fine, it could be up to 1% of the gross income. It could be $50 million. It is split between the general fund and the person making the complaint. It does not go to the Public Service Commission. I believe that we won't see many complaints because once social media understands that a regulator to protect the public is put in place by you, I don't believe that they will commit the offense of discrimination like they are now. It's kind of like a police officer in front of a bank. The bank doesn't get robbed if there's a policeman in front of the bank. If you're going to rob a bank, you're certainly going to pick the one without the policeman. Now, as the nation turned to me and said, well, what do you think about the idea of regulating it as a utility? I represent Montana aggressively. I travel my district often. I'm ready to roll up my sleeves if this legislature tells me, we want you to do this job. So I went to work understanding internet law. Section 230 was written in 1996 specifically for the internet. But there's a couple catchy places in there. That's why you've all been provided a copy. You cannot ask for damages. It's pretty tricky. Most of the states that have written their bill on social media is asking for damages. That is a big mistake. I want to thank Martin Lynch from Arizona. I've been working with people across the United States, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Arizona, California. And some believe this is the best bill written in the U.S. because we were very careful not to list damages, which is in violation of Section 230. So with that, I think we've done a pretty good job of trying to come up with something where we keep one eye on the Constitution as we wrote this bill to present to you. Other concerns that I might think about is, I'm sure when this legislature told the Public Service Commission to take care of electricity, the Public Service Commission said, we don't have all the answers, we're just not sure. We're going to work through it. We can return to the legislation and you guys can make changes as we need. One of the nice things about it is you have an elected body that'll be making these decisions, an elected official, 5 of us. So I think it'll be fair. If people don't like how the decisions are being made, you have the power to replace your Public Service Commissioner in that district based on how he's making the decisions. I can promise you this, no taxi cab driver, which I regulate taxi cab service, has ever said, I kicked the guy out because he said he was a Republican on the way to the Trump campaign, or I kicked the guy out of the cab because he was on his way to the Democrat Party. I would never allow that. No one has ever had their natural gas or electric taken away from them because they were a Republican or Democrat. I'm confident we're going to make a good choice and we're going to do good decisions and we're going to handle this just fine. Some people are concerned about the size of social media. I regulate Burlington Northern Railroad. They're worth billions. They work in all 50 states. They even travel into Canada. I believe we have the experience to do that. Power companies are huge. Northwest Energy operates in several states, and we regulate them just fine. I'm open for questions. I appreciate it. Do pass on this, and thank you for your time.